New York City has had its fair share of bizarre politicians over the years, especially in modern times, with names like Michael Bloomberg, Bill de Blasio, and of course, Rudy Rudolph Giuliani. But no one has been so inexplicably goofy and apparently so corrupt as the city's most recent mayor, Eric Adams. From his war on rats to his fear of ghosts, and in general his bizarre public appearances, he seems right at home with politicians like Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, who use their comically idiotic personas to distract people from all the crooked stuff that they're doing behind the scenes. Or he might actually just be stupid enough to let himself become easily corrupted by foreign governments and local leaders, because on Thursday of this week, New York City Mayor Eric Adams was indicted by the Department of Justice under charges that include bribery and campaign finance offenses.
We will absolutely get around to showing some of our favorite Eric Adams moments from his relatively short time in his position as mayor, but we also have to give credit to The Onion for once again predicting the future when they ran a headline in 2021 featuring a fake quote from then Mayor Bill de Blasio, which read, well, not so easy to find a mayor that doesn't suck shit, huh? Which, that's just...
In general.
Mayor of NYC is a job that...
no one should actually want.
It is a job that is only enticing to real sickos, and every time inevitably results in disgrace and potential criminal charges. Yeah. But before we dive into some of the more interesting parts of the indictment, we should say that as of when we filmed this, Eric Adams has refused to step down from his position. He is in the bunker. And New York Governor Kathy Hochul hasn't said that she will remove or replace him, though we would anticipate that changing at any moment.
There's going to be
I'm
lot
sure
of
they'd
pressure.
prefer to do this the easy way. So the indictment of New York City's mayor also comes after several weeks where numerous local government officials have been investigated and indicted for their involvement in what appears to be a corruption scandal that leads all the way up to the top, to the city's highest office. Amidst the larger corruption investigation, 2 former fire department chiefs were arrested. The police commissioner resigned after his home was raided and electronic devices were seized. 2 deputy mayors had their homes raided, as well as the chancellor of New York City's public schools.
Oops.
It's Tammany Hall all over again.
We're bringing back the old New York. No, not like that.
Bet the mayor of Chicago's being like, hey, it's nice for it to not be us this time.
Yeah, Illinois is celebrating. So the scope of this is absolutely massive and extremely serious, not just because of corruption, favors, and bribes on a local level, but what appears to be a large foreign influence campaign involving officials in Turkey. For his part, Eric Adams reacted to the indictment by first putting out a video statement where he claimed to be the victim of a politically motivated attack, saying, among other things,
I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. It is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies.
And he echoed many of these statements during a public press conference on Thursday, where, unfortunately for him, but fortunately for everyone watching, he was constantly being drowned out by the sound of protesters on megaphones calling him a disgrace and demanding that he resign immediately.
This is not good. Your policies are anti-black. You are a disgrace to all black people in this city.
This is New York at its finest.
Yes.
Being mad at your elected officials.
And taking a megaphone down to the governor's mansion, or not the governor's mansion, the mayor's mansion, Gracie
Manor.
And just screaming at him through a megaphone.
Yeah. As for the indictment itself, let's take a look at the major charges as well as some of the sometimes jaw-dropping evidence included within. He's saying, this is a witch hunt. I'm being very. It's if you look at the actual
are these
documents,
your text messages?
Yeah, they definitely like. You don't indict the mayor of the largest, most important city in the country without doing your homework, and it appears they did their homework.
Yeah.
So U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, who announced the charges, summarized the indictment, saying the following. As alleged, Mayor Adams abused his position as this city's highest elected official, and before that as Brooklyn Borough President, to take bribes and solicit illegal campaign contributions. By allegedly taking improper and illegal benefits from foreign nationals, including to allow a Manhattan skyscraper to open without a fire inspection, Adams put the interests of his benefactors, including a foreign official, above those of his constituents. This office and our partners at the FBI and DOI will continue to pursue corruption anywhere in this city, especially when that corruption takes the form of illegal foreign influence on our democratic system. As we indicated previously, the foreign nationals were working with Adams on behalf of Turkey.
It is Turkey. Aside from that brief summary, some of the more damning allegations include the fact that he sought increased illegal contributions from foreign donors. He hid those contributions through smaller donations that were then matched by public funds. The feds alleged that resulted in more than $10 million stolen from local taxpayers. Because they had a system where if small local donations went towards a campaign, the city would match those. And so he was making those through people from Turkey, and then the city was matching them.
Yeah, I looked at like one part of this indictment where I don't know if they ended up doing it, but they were talking about like going to Turkey and like giving a Turkish American a shitload of money.
Yeah, we get to that.
It
Yeah.
was this crazy scheme. Like, this guy is so greedy.
Yeah. So he also, as Elliot pointed out just a second ago, just accepted an incredibly suspicious lump sum donation of $100,000, which his own staff thought was so suspicious that they were convinced he wouldn't even go for it. They got on the phone, they were like,
Even
look,
Eric wouldn't fall for this.
they were very surprised to find out that he would accept that.
It's an expensive city to live in.
From the indictment, the Adams staffer inquired, how will Adams declare that money here? The promoter responded, he won't declare it, or we'll make the donation through an American citizen in the US, a Turk. I'll give cash to him in Turkey, or I'll send it to an American. He will make a donation to you. The Adams staffer replied, I think he wouldn't get involved in such games. They might cause a big stink later on, but I'll ask anyways.
And he did it.
They spoke about the sum, which was $100,000, and quote, after this conversation, the Adams staffer asked Adams whether they should pursue the unlawful foreign contributions offered, and contrary to the staffer's expectations, Adams directed them to pursue the promoter's illegal scheme. What are you talking about? It's $100,000 on the table. You don't just leave that on the table.
Don't just leave it there.
And look,
this is New York.
They have a great plan. They're going to give it to an American in Turkey. He's going to bring it back here. It's going to be so clean.
It's foolproof. And with all of the air miles I've accumulated flying on Turkish Airlines,
yeah,
you know, it's a free trip essentially. Mm-hmm. And I see you got a receding hairline there. They got some of the best hair specialists in the world over in Turkey.
You're going to love the way your hair looks.
Anyway, in addition to the campaign contributions, Adams was also apparently given airfare and accommodations on behalf of Turkey. His team attempted to hide the favorable treatment by paying a share of the ticket price so that it wouldn't be so obvious. Here's some of the conversation between his staff and the airline manager. I'll be the Adams staff member and Ricky will be the Turkish airline manager. How much does he owe? Please let them call me and I will make the payment.
It is very expensive because it is last minute. I am working on a discount.
Okay, thank you.
I am going to charge $50.
No, dear. 50? What? Quote a proper price.
How much should I charge? Smiley face emoji.
His every step is being watched right now. $1,000 or so. Let it be somewhat real. We don't want them to say he is flying for free. At the moment, the media's attention is on Eric.
And they add that he ended up paying $1,100 for each round-trip ticket on the Turkish airline for himself and his partner. And those seats were, of course, immediately upgraded to business class at no charge. Right this way, sir.
You know, it's nothing suspicious about getting those miles and joining the club.
If you ran an airline and New York City's mayor came on and he's sitting back there with the schlubs in economy, you wouldn't upgrade this very, very important man to business class?
He's a great customer. He flies into Istanbul for no fucking reason.
Yeah, all the time.
He'll be flying to fucking London and he'll do a layover in Istanbul.
He just loves it so much. So there were other trips on the airline though, and he would make, or in some cases attempt to make plans with absolutely absurd layovers just so he could enjoy tens of thousands of dollars worth of free travel benefits. Here's an example.
During the July and August 2017 trip, Adams' partner was surprised to learn that Adams was in Turkey when she had understood him to be flying from New York to France. Adams responded in a text message, transferring here. You know first stop is always Istanbul.
Oh my God.
When Adams' partner later inquired about planning a trip to Easter Island, Chile, Adams repeatedly asked her whether the Turkish airline could be used for their flights, requiring her to call the airline to confirm that they do not have routes between New York and Chile. But back to the Turkish accommodations before we move on from this. Here's another conversation about the trip that's so corrupt it's actually comical. He is also asking where else they can go in Turkey. Do you have a recommendation?
Four Seasons.
It's too expensive.
Why does he care? He's not going to pay. His name will not be on anything either.
Super. All right.
Done. And for clarity, that is not Four Seasons landscaping. That is an actual Four Seasons that is, I'm sure, very nice.
The Four Seasons Istanbul.
Probably really, really nice, and also, I would assume, thousands of dollars per night to stay there.
It's the Four Seasons Manhattan of Turkey.
Yep. That quote, by the way, he was appearing in a Turkish drama as a guest star.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Or it was a commercial or something. It was with two Turkish guys talking to him, and he goes, well, I don't speak Turkish, but I can tell you that Brooklyn is the Istanbul of New York, or something like that. It was like just completely bizarre.
Well, he went from that and just started referring, anytime a foreign dignitary would come through New York, he would say that New York is the blank of blank.
Yeah.
And
he's like, wow, people really like when I say this. I'm going to keep doing it.
It's a compliment. Everyone, and they don't have to know that I say this to all the foreign leaders.
Hey, you talked to Eric Adams last time you were in America? Yeah, he said that, Greece was, it was...
So that Belgrade is the New York of Serbia.
So, according to the filing, while speaking with FBI agents during the investigation, a staffer excused themselves to the bathroom, where they then proceeded to delete the encrypted messaging app that they'd used to communicate with the previously mentioned officials and managers. Well, they certainly
I gotta take a big shit.
I gotta go. Frantically deletes everything. And another funny but frustrating bit of info from the investigation, when the feds tried to get access to Adam's cell phone, he updated his password, and he claimed that he did that to keep the evidence safe.
There's a lot of people who are going to be trying to delete the evidence on this phone. So I changed the passcode to something new, so no one can get in.
But then he told the FBI that, that password that he just came up with?
I forgot it. Now no one can get into the phone.
He forgot the password that he had just created and was thus unable to provide the FBI with a password that would unlock the phone.
I wish I could unlock this phone and show you all of the exonerating evidence I have on there.
But it's so complicated that not even I can figure it out, nor remember it. So there are also texts between staffers and Adams where they coordinated the deletion of evidence while continuing to plan trips, with the staffer saying at one point, to be on the safe side, please delete all messages you send me. And Adams responded, always do.
Except clearly he didn't, because this is in the evidence.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. Anyway.
Also, that's the thing is, if he's deleting this off of his phone, it's the FBI. They're going to be able to get it server side anyway. So,
I mean, does it say what they were using to communicate?
Probably Telegram. That's probably what they're like, yeah, the encrypted app. Don't use Signal. The lady from NPR's on their board.
Yeah, they're woke. As for one of the most egregious parts of this indictment, as it relates directly to the safety of the citizens of New York, the person involved in the bribes at one point demanded that it was time to repay the debt by pressuring the New York City Fire Department, or FDNY, to facilitate the opening of a new Turkish consular building, a 36-story skyscraper, without a fire inspection, in time for a high-profile visit by Turkey's president. And this was despite there being numerous fire safety defects with the building and that it wasn't ready to be opened to the public. So the fire chief, at the behest of Mayor Eric Adams, indicated that people would lose their jobs if they didn't comply and allow the building to open in time. After this, it was a real bromance moment between Adams and the Turkish official.
Yeah, just best friends. Just best friends doing a little corruption. The saddest part about all of this is that, as we say time and time again, when you get to a certain age, you gotta really hold on to the friends you have, because it's very hard to make new friends you can trust.
Yeah.
And the saddest part about all this, at least for him, is the fact that he lost one of his best friends.
Yeah.
He can't text with this Turkish official anymore. I'll be Adams in this scenario, and you can. From the commissioner, letters being drafted now. Everything should be good to go Monday morning.
You are great, Eric. We are so happy to hear that. Prayer hands emoji. You are a true friend of Turkey.
Yes, even more a true friend of yours. You are my brother. I am here to help.
You are such a friend. Prayer hands emoji.
Dang!
You know,
I hate to see it.
Come for the corruption, but stay for the bromance.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy's absolutely fucking cooked.
There's no coming back.
There's no coming back from this. Any amount of time that he stays in his position as mayor of NYC will look horrific in retrospect. The state's governor, Kathy Hochul, could remove him from the position, but she sucks too.
Yeah.
Though, with a case as damning as this one, we don't see much of a choice for her here.
Pressure will mount. There will probably
In a
be an
game of
announcement.
very funny musical chairs, apparently Cuomo is he's already putting the napkin around his neck and holding his fork and knife.
Oh,
He
you
is
gotta do the,
drooling all over the table. He's like,
He's
yes.
ready. He's ready. You got to do a Photoshop of where the George Bush, where he comes, hey, miss me yet?
Yeah.
But he was the governor. Is it different? But yeah.
Cuomo could be New York City's next mayor. You would think that the wise people of New York would learn from this, and the mayor before that, and the mayor before that, and the mayor before that, and be like, hey, maybe we should stop electing fucking psychos. But we'll see.
To be fair, the only person that would want that job is a total psychopath.
Yes.
So you just got to find whichever one works. Like, Bloomberg had a lot of scandals, but one of his funniest ones was that he refused to stay in the mayor's house because it was like beneath him.
Yeah.
He was like,
I'm a billionaire. Why would I stay in this shithole?
I have like 7 properties. There's no way I'm going near that place.
The last time I was in New York, I accidentally stumbled upon Gracie Manor, and yeah, it's not that big.
Yeah.
Especially for
It should be humble.
But it's like, assuming it's a residence that also, I think, has like staff in it, it would be kind of cramped. This was built like 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And also, like, you can walk right up to it, essentially. It's not like
That's just like the mayor's house here.
It's not, well, yeah, the mayor house in LA is strange, because it is just,
It's just in a neighborhood.
It's just a house in Larchmont, which is
Yeah.
a very nice, or Hancock Park, a very, very nice neighborhood, but it's just there.
Yeah.
And there's like a guard in front, but like,
don't do nothing.
you could walk onto the lawn if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's weird. But while we wish nothing but the worst for Eric Adams, he was undoubtedly one of the goofiest motherfuckers to ever lead that city.
I think he's still got a lot of goofs left in him.
That's what, especially now that the pressure's on, he's gonna be saying some weird shit probably. And we wouldn't have known too much about this guy if it weren't for all of his bizarre public statements and appearances, because he's just the mayor of a city we don't live in. It should be completely off our radar.
Yeah. What got me is like as soon as he took office, he declared war on rats.
Yes.
And that's like the one thing you could make an argument he has actually succeeded at. He has introduced modern garbage collection to a
Yep.
city that was stuck in the dark ages.
Yeah, truly. And they also had their weird weed laws where they were like,
Oh God, it's a mess.
they were like, we're gonna make sure that everyone who was arrested for dealing weed, you're gonna get first crack at licenses to own weed shops.
We
And then
promise.
Every
Oh
like,
fuck, did we promise?
every like bodega owner that
Yeah.
already had a shop set up was like, oh, I'm gonna just start selling weed now.
Yeah.
And there was just no way for them to stop
There's
him.
no system in place. He first landed on my radar when I first learned of Eric Adams when he was still running for mayor. And there was a rumor like, wait, he doesn't actually live in New York City. He lives in New Jersey.
We get to that, yeah.
Okay.
It's all part of the greatest hits. So let's take a second to go over some of Eric Adams' weirdest quotes and moments as we all collectively wave goodbye to his political career. And by the way, if we do miss anything, please post about it in the comments. It has been a busy day. I tried to grab as many clips and articles that I could remember. And we do have to note that many of the videos that he appears in, they are impossible to play in full because everywhere he went in public as mayor, he was always playing that Jay-Z and Alicia Keys Empire State of Mind song. Elliot, now is your chance.
Well, I'll tell you, if it really comes down to it, the one good use of AI that I've found is their great...
You can remove it?
Great background music remover tools.
But yes, reposting some of the videos would get us nuked from orbit by YouTube's copyright system. So just putting that out there.
Okay, obviously, we have to start with the PSA, where he explains where kids are hiding all their weapons and drug paraphernalia. And to be clear about this one, we are taking yet another risk by even showing a clip of this video, because the first time we covered it, we got in a big fight with Viacom over the right to show it, which resulted in our monetization being hijacked for a few weeks. We won, but the whole system here on YouTube is automated, so it's safe to say we'll probably have to fight it again.
It's us versus Viacom, or whatever they're called now. Paramount Global, but then they got bought by someone else.
Anyway, if you want to help us be the show that we want to be, please click the join button to become a paid member or leave a thanks donation on the video.
Yeah.
We appreciate the support. Prayer hands. All right.
You are my brother.
You are all my brother.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's begin.
It's imperative that you should know what's inside your household. And no one can state that you can't search a room in your own home. You can look in a jewelry box. A jewelry box of this nature, maybe a simple jewelry box, but if you look through it closely, you don't know what your child may be hiding. For instance, a gun could be hidden, a small caliber weapon could be hidden inside a jewelry box. When your child brings in his popular knapsack with many different locations, look through it to see what exactly is your child carrying in addition to a book. Something simple as a crack pipe, a used crack pipe. Behind a picture frame, you can find bullets. What does that mean to find bullets? Does it mean your child is carrying a gun? No. Where there's smoke, there's possible fire. Just look and see what's inside your bookcases. It could be more than just books. Perfect place to hide cocaine or other illegal substance. Something simple as a baby doll. Could be just a baby doll, but also it could be a place where you can secrete or hide drugs. Run your hands over the pillows and see if you feel anything that's unusual. Like a pillow like this where the button is a perfect invitation to hide something. And I felt something bumpy. I would reach in, see what it is. This one could be hidden inside a pillow, a gun.
And then there was the time that he, along with the Department of Sanitation, invented trash cans. And you're thinking,
It's so good.
You're thinking, everyone that doesn't live in New York is saying, but trash cans already exist. What's so special about this? But here's where you're wrong. These trash cans can be picked up by garbage trucks with robotic arms.
Yeah, no, we have that too.
Yes, those, actually, I'm remembering now that those also exist.
Only in New York.
We love it, folks. Welcome to the 21st century. Just him putting the trash in it and going, hey, pretty cool, huh?
So the invention of the trash can was a result of Adams' never-ending war on rats. He absolutely hates rats and made the eradication of the local rat population one of his top priorities.
There's a clip where he drowns a rat in vinegar.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He personally kills a rat with his bare hands?
I don't think he does it with his bare hands, but yes, he executes a rat.
Damn.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't want to spend too much time on the constant stories and updates regarding the war on rats. So instead, here's a wonderful little compilation that was made by local news outlet Gothamist back in 2022, which I have used as B-roll at least 3 times previously, but it's very good.
Yes.
Here you go.
I hate rats.
Rats, rats,
Rats.
I hate rats. I hate rats. I hate rats.
I hate rats.
Let me tell you how scared I am of rats. The rats may be listening. I'm terrified of rats. All of you are scared of rats too.
I had a real rat infestation.
Rats are everywhere.
We were feeding rats.
Those rats use it as perfume. Trust me, you got rats.
We were creating an environment where rats felt comfortable.
See one scurrying down the block. We want to get rid of rats. We're gonna kill rats.
Kill some rats.
I'm killing rats. Called me a murderer because I was killing rats. Kill rats. And you see a rat and say, okay, you guys failed. The guy blackmailed me. He said, I know you're scared of rats. Rats do not run the city.
Rats don't run our city.
You can be the rat czar. Fighting crime, fighting inequality, and fighting rats. Fighting rats. If you're not scared of rats, you're my hero.
There was also a brief scandal where it appeared as though the then candidate for mayor didn't even live in the city that he was trying to represent, and actually lived full-time in New Jersey. Boo!
Get out of here.
This is the worst scandal for a mayor of New York, is to live in New Jersey.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So as part of an investigation into his New York residence, Curbed did a stakeout to see how often he even visited his New York City apartment. And during the entire week that reporters camped out in shifts in front of his place, he came home a total of 2 times. And one of the times, he parked in front of a driveway of a plumbing business that was very active during the daytime. So workers from that business, they moved his car out of the way with a forklift. But then his car was then blocking traffic and creating a traffic jam. He couldn't get into his car properly and get out. So he then, there's footage of him driving down the sidewalk in order to leave.
Mr. Bean-ass mayor.
Yeah.
And during that saga as well, there was a point where he's like, all right, I'll let you guys come and do a tour of my New York City apartment. And it was clearly his son's house, like his 25-year-old son.
And he didn't even know what he was showing off. He's just like, and here's some other stuff.
Like, just based on everything about it, the decor, just like, this is not where you live. This is where your son lives, and it's registered under your name.
Yes.
It's crazy. And but like, the man's such a fucking bullshitter. He stood there confidently being like, yes, this is where I live. This is my home.
That's another like trick that ultra wealthy people tend to do is, especially for school districts, they'll like rent an apartment in a school district and just not live there and use it as a registered address to get their kids into a better school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was the time that he told a local CBS reporter that Gracie Mansion, where all NYC mayors live during their terms, is actually haunted. People think I'm joking, but there's a ghost that runs around here, Adam said, laughing. I think a building with this much history and how long it's been, I believe that there's an energy that you can feel in here. When people hear of ghosts, they think of movies. Like, I think there's an energy that's in this building, Adam said. You hear squeaks. You hear a door close. You hear there are different sounds you hear inside the building as I walk around at night. You can hear them.
He spent most of his nights just exploring the ghosts of his mansion.
I mean, if any building's haunted, it's probably that building.
For sure. For sure. He should call the Ghostbusters.
He should.
Yeah. There was also, this one is insane. I love it. It's crazy. It's from a Vanity Fair interview. He said the greatest concert.
Oh, I forgot about this. Oh my God, this was crazy.
The greatest concert he ever went to was one where the artist was paralyzed live on stage before they'd actually performed their set.
Yeah, no, this is like one of the most horrible things that's ever happened in live music.
It's crazy. What's the best concert you've ever been to? Curtis Mayfield at the Wingate Concert Series. At that concert, there was a rainstorm and the lights fell on Curtis Mayfield, and they actually paralyzed him at that concert. He died a few years ago, but it was an amazing concert before that happened. Just so unfortunate.
And then, yeah, they looked into it, and the lights fell on him like before he even started playing,
Yes,
I think. So it's like, what are you talking about?
Well, there's probably other artists on it, but yes.
And,
it's weird to be like,
I think there was
love seeing
also
Curtis Mayfield.
I think there was also questions about whether he was even there.
Yeah,
I don't know if
maybe.
that was resolved or not, but I wouldn't put it past him to just lie.
It's like a Steve Ranazzisi, I was in 9/11 kind of story.
Yeah. Every New Yorker already has a 9/11 story, so you need your own secondary story to one-up other people. There was the time he presented the now disgraced hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs with a key to the city and proclaimed it Diddy Day. Maybe they'll be cellmates. We haven't really talked at all about this Diddy shit.
It's because it's fucking horrific.
Yeah, it's horrific. It's wild.
Disgusting.
It's like it's one of those things where it's shocking, just like how fucking openly evil a guy could be for that long.
Yeah.
And wield enough power to just keep people hushed up about it.
It's
But
crazy.
Yeah,
And-
he needs to die in prison.
And one of the stories this week was that one of his cellmates, or at least in the area where he's being held,
SBF.
Sam Bankman-Fried. So it might be Sam Bankman-Fried, Sean Diddy Combs, and Mayor Eric Adams all together.
I also loved fucking. Diddy was one of the big investors in X.
X, yeah.
And Cat Turd was being like, anyone who is associated with this Diddy guy is a pedophile. And people are just posting pictures of like the fact that Diddy
There's a
is the big
story
investor in
about how one of Diddy's media companies called Revolt, one of the representatives was very upset during the transition of ownership to Elon Musk and was talking about the use of the N-word on the platform. And Musk's response to him was that, well, I don't know if you know this or not, but Diddy is a close friend and is an investor in my platform now.
Oh, so that's okay.
Yeah. But, maybe they'll all be together in jail. There was also the time that he waved a checkered flag before a giant bulldozer destroyed an obscene amount of vehicles that were impounded by the NYPD.
Hey, that's fun.
It is fun.
Yes.
It's great. I feel like you could probably, there's a whole Cars for Kids thing. You could probably donate those.
That's like the good part of having these jobs. It's like when Trump got to sit in the driver's seat of that fire truck.
Yeah.
And it's like the highlight of his life.
Doing like stuff that you always wanted to do as a little kid.
Yeah.
You get to do it. You get to do the gold shovel on a new project. Stuff like that. That's the mayor's
You get
thing.
to hold the comically large scissors and cut a ribbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all want to do it.
And of course, who could forget the time that he said, God, when he said that New York City is the greatest city on the globe, because, any day that you wake up, 9/11 could happen.
This is a place where every day you wake up, you could experience everything from a plane crashing into our trade center to a person who's celebrating a new business that's open. This is a very, very complicated city, and that's why it's the greatest city on the globe.
Yeah. So
Woo!
Once again, we have to assume that he will not be in this position very much longer. But
also, one of my personal favorites, it's a bit like niche, but it's when he was being interviewed for some like Hasidic or maybe Israeli like media network, and to demonstrate his commitment to Israel, he made up this insane lie about how he plans to retire to Israel. After when he's retiring, he wants to move to Israel, and they're like, "Oh, where would you go?" And he's like, "The Golan Heights," which is like an insane fucking answer because that's like literally not even like internationally recognized as part of Israel. It's like a place where you'd only move if you are a like religious fanatic. It's a horrible place to retire because you have very poor access to like goods and services and healthcare, and also everyone speaks fucking Hebrew. Like, what are you talking about, Eric Adams?
That's his commitment to the Jewish people, though.
I guess so. But when I was thinking about that today, I was like, it would be so funny if he just hopped a plane to fucking Israel.
Look, all things considered, with how this guy has been and continues to be, I wouldn't put it past him.
Maybe he will retire to the Golan Heights.
Anything could happen. But regardless of him probably not being in his position officially much longer, it's definitely not the last time we've heard of him, unless he goes there. And the next few days and weeks should be incredibly interesting. But we simply must move on for now. So instead, let's talk about the grift that keeps on grifting, because presidential nominee Donald Trump is really cranking out the garbage just before Election Day in what seems like a last-ditch effort to make as much money off of his brain-dead supporters as possible. The amount of drop-shipped, white-labeled crap that he sells on his various websites would make even Soulja Boy blush.
Superman, that hoe.
He came up recently because he was playing with a handheld game console.
Yeah.
And someone had claimed that it was the Nintendo Switch 2, and they're like, Soulja Boy got his hands on the Switch 2. And it's like, buddy, maybe you weren't around, but the Soulja Boy
You got some Soulja Boy lore to catch up.
The Soulja Boy gaming console was an all-timer. All-timer.
That was great.
But yes, even Soulja Boy would blush at the amount of products that Trump is cranking out, and the latest items are no exception. First off, he's selling cologne and perfume that is apparently in honor of his first assassination attempt.
So what does it smell like? Blood?
No, it's the fight cologne. Fight, fight, fight.
But what does it smell like?
It probably smells like shit. Not actual shit, but it probably smells terrible.
Yeah, he comes from an era when colognes were overpowering.
Not only that, as you age, you lose the sensitivity.
Yeah. I think I need a little bit more.
Yeah, so you get the stronger stuff so you can smell it too. But here's Rolling Stone with more on the beautiful scents that are coming out of the Trump campaign.
Trump has made hay over the assassination attempt against him in July, both through campaign fundraising and hawking merchandise, including Fight, Fight, Fight cologne and perfume. This scent is your rallying cry in a bottle, the description of the cologne reads. Featuring Trump's iconic image and raised fist, this limited edition cologne embodies strength, power, and victory. The perfume is intended for women who embody strength and grace, like President Trump. Shouldn't it be like... Well, never mind. I don't know.
Oh, have you seen the Melania book stuff, like the promo?
It's very weird.
It is bizarre.
Nude modeling is actually, it's like Greek marble statues.
Okay, so the Melania book, she's coming out with a book. She hasn't been
No
on the
one
campaign.
asked for this.
She hasn't been on the campaign
Trump didn't
trail.
even know about it.
He didn't know about the book, and the promotion for the book is attacking the media for what she claims is the media making fun of her for posing nude, which first of all, no one did until she became the first lady or the presumptive first lady. And also, no one has talked about in many years.
Yeah.
Like, it was a brief scandal because it was like, oh, this first lady that we've seen official naked pictures
We've seen
of.
everything, yeah.
And it wasn't even that big of a deal then. It's like, okay, well, she was just a model back then.
Yeah.
And now she's posing it as if she's constantly being attacked for it, which is completely untrue. But also the book is bizarre because it's coming out at a very weird time when she hasn't been present on the campaign trail at all.
Yeah, no, she's been hiding away in New York.
Anyways, next up are the Trump watches for the distinguished gentleman. And he created a commercial for the Trump watches, which is, it's just like the other amazing commercials. It's the same style where he's clearly reading off a teleprompter while seeming as if he has no idea what he was selling before he got in the room.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing today? Hey, watches?
I mean,
Hey.
this is a classic move of his where he would license his name to products that other people would do, and he would just have to show up and cut a promo for it.
But you're not going to believe the quality and therefore the price of these incredible watches.
These watches are bulletproof. Not literally.
Not literally.
Disclaimer, these watches are not literally bulletproof, but they'll make you feel bulletproof. Yes. These are specifically insane watches because he is charging he's charging $100,000 for each of these watches.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a watch guy, but for comparison, you could get a decent Rolex watch for like 10 or 20 grand if you just want one for the name.
Yeah.
The idea that a Trump watch would ever be worth $100,000 is so ridiculous that the people buying it actually deserve to be fleeced by this huckster. Anyway, here's the ad.
My new Trump watches. We're doing quite a number with watches, and the quality to me is very important. The Trump Victory Tourbillon. This isn't just any watch, it's one of the best watches made. It's a tourbillon watch with almost 200 grams of gold and more than 100 real diamonds. That's a lot of diamonds. I love gold, I love diamonds, we all do. Only 147 of these extraordinary watches will ever exist in the world, and owning one puts you in a very exclusive club. I have watch number one, and I'm going to keep it. It's mine, and that's the way I want to have it. Each watch is numbered and extremely rare, a true collector's item, and it includes a personal letter signed by me. Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
Oh.
Also, as pointed out by Rolling Stone, the website clarifies that Trump watches are not designed, manufactured, distributed, or sold by Donald J. Trump, the Trump Organization, or any of their respective affiliates or principals. Instead, they're being sold by The Best Watches on Earth, LLC.
A company that will not exist after these watches are sold.
It's right there in the name, The Best Watches on Earth.
Yeah.
Which is using the Trump name and likeness under a license agreement, like I said, which may be terminated or revoked according to its terms. The website adds that Trump watches are intended as collectible items for individual enjoyment only, not for investment purposes. Wink, wink.
So the LLC alone is a shield for the potential lawsuit because these things are clearly not worth $100,000.
This is junk.
What this is a way for anyone to step aside from campaign donation limits.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. All this shit is so people
can donate without
to the campaign without
running into legal issues.
Running afoul of the FEC.
Yes.
Yeah. But speaking of overpromising and underdelivering, MKBHD is now on the receiving end of some anger after he launched a new app that, much to the disappointment of his fan base, is nothing more than an expensive and annoying paid cell phone wallpaper aggregator.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, an app where you could purchase wallpapers and make sure that artists are paid directly for their work is a great idea.
It is.
But this launch was horrible, outrageously expensive, riddled with ads, appears to just be a reskinned version of apps that already exist, and leaves the doors wide open for art that's created using generative AI. Saying, in response to a question about the use of AI, these are all made by artists who can choose to involve AI or not in their creation process. It'll be up to you how much you value the human touch. I happen to value the human touch quite a bit, I'd say.
A lot. And this is especially upsetting because just last week I was curious to find a new wallpaper for my phone, and I was popping around on subreddits and stuff like that where you'd typically go looking for stuff like this, only to find that nearly every single post, and I'm not kidding, go look at like iPhone or Android wallpaper subreddits, it's crazy. Nearly every single post, including the most upvoted posts in recent history, they're all just a bunch of AI slop that people should be embarrassed to have on their phones. And I was thinking, yeah, you know what? I'd actually pay for an app that provides human artists income for creating wallpapers. But I'm afraid that this app ain't it. And with MKBHD publicly stating that he's fine with AI art on the platform, at least for me, that's poison from the start. Like, you'd have to put a huge warning on it that there was, and then people would just lie anyway. But
yeah.
It's crazy.
Now, for his part, he's saying that the criticism is helping with his decisions, but it might be too little, too late, at least as far as the app's concerned. We're sure that he won't suffer too greatly on his videos because he does produce incredible videos. It just seems like this was a weird collaboration that wasn't very well thought out. But with more on this, here's The Verge. Marcus Brownlee, the YouTuber known as MKBHD, has responded to backlash over the launch of his new wallpaper app called Panels. In a post on Tuesday, Brownlee says he's going to address users' concerns about pricing and excessive data disclosures. Brownlee revealed the new app as part of his iPhone 16 review on Monday, a video that's usually among his biggest of the year. But a flood of criticism about the Panels app quickly overshadowed comments about the new iPhone.
Panels is meant to offer access to a curated selection of stunning, full-resolution wallpapers from digital artists. But fans aren't happy about the subscription that comes along with it. It costs $49.99 per year or $11.99 per month for a Panels Plus subscription, which lets you download all the wallpapers in the app in high resolution. You can still access a more limited selection of wallpapers for free, but you can only download them in standard definition and have to watch 2 ads first. Users on the iOS version of Panels also pointed out some privacy concerns, as the app asks to track your activity across other websites and apps and also appears to use location data. Brownlee says these data disclosures are likely too broad and that we'd never actually ask for your location, internet history, etc. But the app is doing it, so...
I don't like it. But moving on, we have another nearly final update on the seemingly never-ending 2020 election fraud cases involving numerous conservative outlets, pundits, state officials, the former president, and Mike Lindell. The latest news is that election technology company Smartmatic has now settled their case with Newsmax. Here's the New York Times with more on that. Smartmatic on Thursday settled its defamation lawsuit against Newsmax, the right-wing cable news channel that has spread false claims of election fraud, the company said. The details of the settlement, reached as the jury was being selected before the trial, were not immediately disclosed. Jury selection in the case began on Thursday morning in Wilmington, Delaware, and the trial had been expected to take up to 4 weeks.
Newsmax is pleased to announce it has resolved the litigation brought by Smartmatic through a confidential settlement, Newsmax said in a statement. A Smartmatic spokesperson said in a statement, "Lying to the American people has consequences. Smartmatic will not stop until the perpetrators are held accountable." The 12th hour settlement avoids the spectacle of a closely watched trial. It is not unusual for parties in defamation cases to reach a deal before a trial. In a similar case last year, Fox News settled a lawsuit brought by Dominion Voting Systems for $787.5 million just minutes before opening statements were to begin.
And while we're on the topic of shitty right-wing media outlets, the entire Fox News empire is going to be changing hands in the very near future, and everything that has been playing out feels lifted straight out of the HBO series Succession. Who will get the company? Will it be the eldest boy? Well, right now, the media company's future seems to be held up in one Reno, Nevada courtroom. Here's CNN. The fate of Rupert Murdoch's vast media empire, including Fox News, is now in the hands of a Reno probate commissioner who will decide whether the 93-year-old media mogul can change his succession plan to preserve the right-wing editorial bent of his influential outlets. Murdoch and his eldest children descended on a Reno courthouse to appear for evidentiary hearings in a secret trial to determine whether the 93-year-old can alter the family trust that he established decades ago, giving his 4 oldest children equal votes over the future of his conservative media empire after he dies. Murdoch wants to amend the trust so that his eldest son and chosen successor, Lachlan, will remain in charge for decades to come. Oh, it is the eldest boy.
It is. But the 3 other Murdoch children, James, Elizabeth, and Prudence, oppose the change and have challenged it in court. According to the New York Times and Wall Street Journal, Murdoch fears his other 3 children could moderate the highly profitable and famously right-wing slant promoted by some of his outlets like Fox News, which he believes would diminish the company's value. The legal proceedings, which took place outside of public view, wrapped up on Tuesday. Now, the family members wait for a decision. And they add that the high-stakes succession fight took place behind closed doors in Nevada, which offers one of the most private court settings for issues like family trust decisions, allowing parties and courts to lock the cases behind closed doors to such an extreme degree that their very existence is not even publicized on court dockets. In recent days, a coalition of news organizations that includes CNN has petitioned the Nevada Supreme Court to unseal the case, arguing the succession will affect thousands of jobs, millions of worldwide media consumers, and the American political landscape.
I love the idea of being so committed to the evil that you have inflicted upon the world for decades, continuing on indefinitely after your death, to the point that you are willing to sacrifice the relationships with 3 out of your 4 children to ensure that that is the case.
That's... It's so insane. You're gonna be dead.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Very soon, probably. He is
93?
old.
It's crazy.
But he just got married. He's in the honeymoon stage.
That's right.
That's what keeps him alive.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for our video today. We, of course, have Weekly Weird News coming up for you in just a bit. But make sure you click the like button. Do it right now. Click that like button.
Come on, brother.
Leave a comment about anything we talked about today and talk about your favorite Eric Adams or your least favorite Eric Adams moment. And, of course, not sponsored, so if you want to, click the join button, click the thank button, do whatever you want to be involved. And, of course, watch our 2 recent videos over here. We got bad news for bad people and Elon Musk sued by, well, SpaceX, sued by Cards Against Humanity. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.